Well, we're deep into our implementation of Vagabond. Um, so here we have the JS docs for Graph. Um, I'm still not sold on doing all the documentation that way. I don't know. I still got to mess with things. I got to figure out how to put stuff on this home index page. Element is working pretty good, and they've got get property key and other things like that. So at least they allow markdown. So I could just in the top here do a big old section on do whatever I need to. I actually did here. I made this little thing is that's all markdown. So it's kind of still up in the air about that. Been working. Yeah, so here's element, Java doc, returning promises all over the place. Woohoo! I did implement persistence. So on like node, there's a persist function. I still need to shrinkify this. There's still better ways to do this. But so we take the database, we use a level DB, any type of level DB. Actually, let me just show you. So we use level up. And then we use memdown for our database in there, and we can just use it for whatever we need to. I just realized we're going to need to create a new DB. It'll conflict. Huh. So more things to do. So DB, memdown, all that fun stuff. And then just going and implementing all of the various pieces and getting persistence mechanisms in there. I made the decision for element to have the ID and the label because they're immutable. Go ahead and leave them as properties. But anything that's mutable will return promises anytime you try to mess with it or deal with it. That will allow us to do asynchronous. The one bad thing, or the one interesting thing is it's bad practice to put asynchronous code in your constructor, because then you'd have to return a promise, and the constructor should not really return anything. It should be an element. So that means that like in Graph, when I create a node, I need to create the node, add everything in memory, and then persist it. And if it persists, then I return the node, otherwise it errors. So I have to have a separate method, this internal persist method to write data asynchronously. To write data asynchronously. So I need to make this one async. I've been going through and just fixing things. And then another thing is the Graph, the constructor takes a database, the level up database. But again, because the constructor should not essentially run asynchronous code, we have to have an initialize function, which will essentially go through this database, load everything up, clean up the graph. Then we need to make sure if it's not already initialized, and there's some additional logic there to make some protections. So it's just fun things like that. We have Javas. We have let's see. We got JS doc. We got JavaScript. Why can't I remember what this is called? It's formatting. So if you miss like this, no. this will do it. My goodness. Okay, let's find something a little bit simpler. Here we go. This should trigger it. There we go. So right here, you require spaces after the if. So it's just a syntax checker to make sure everything's standardized and clean. And so I just continue chugging away on that. I'll probably finish this tomorrow. I'm still wondering, because in graph there's going to be some get nodes and queries and some other things, and I want to use generators for those. The tricky part about generators is, how do you put it? It means when you call them, you have to use ES6. So yeah, so I got to figure that out if I really want to, because right now I'm not using anything that I can't just transpile into ES5 and be fine using Babel. So you got to think about that too. But that's it for today. Yeah, take care, have some fun.